They used to ride in at night with torches in hand and ropes swinging, faces hidden under white cloth stitched with fear and hate. But it wasn't just chaos they brought, it was their own order. Because after the Civil War, black Americans rose fast. They were free, they voted, they won elections. Hiram Revels was in the U.S. Senate. Black men ran state houses across the South. They held office, they passed laws, they rebuilt what slavery had tried to destroy, and white power couldn't stand it. And the Klan wasn't just hate, it was strategy. They killed politicians, they burned churches, they beat teachers. They didn't just kill bodies, they killed ballots. They made the vote a death sentence and the law stood by, or they joined in. And we like to think that they disappeared mostly, but really just the hoods came off and the strategy stayed. Because now they call it redistricting. They say it's about fraud. Now they use IDs and precinct closures and Supreme Court rulings, but it's the same mission to make sure that black, brown, and poor people never hold power again. In 2013, Shelby County versus Holder gutted the Voting Rights Act. And since then, Georgia has closed over 200 polling places, mostly in black areas and neighborhoods. North Carolina was caught drawing districts so white Republicans could win even more seats with fewer votes. Texas made IDs mandatory but excluded student IDs but allowed gun permits. Florida made returning citizens pay hidden court costs and fees to vote again. And that's not policy, that's voter sabotage. They use the same rope, it's just a longer drop. And it doesn't stop with votes. They rewrite history in textbooks, they ban authors, they silence teachers, they pass laws to criminalize protests and jail journalists. They flood local elections with out of state money and dark pacts. They redraw maps in secret rooms and deny it with a grin. And they do it while waving flags and quoting Bible verses, but the intent is the same, to preserve white power at all costs. And it's not a political game, it's the same war, it's the same enemy, same sickness passed down through generations like an old family Bible. And now they sit in Congress and they write legislation and they pass laws to bury the future. They close polling places and call it budget cuts. They redraw these maps and call it fairness. They gut rights and call it law and order. And they lie and they lie and they lie because if they told the truth, they'd hang themselves with it. They don't burn crosses anymore. They burn the system from the inside and they call it patriotism. And we don't call them what they are. We say partisan or polarized or controversial, but changing the uniform doesn't change the Klan. They walk through the front door now. They smile for cameras, they swear on Bibles, and they run the show. Right now in Texas, Greg Abbott has called a special session to redraw the state's 38 congressional districts, even though redistricting was already done. The goal's simple: carve out 5 new Republican seats by breaking apart Democratic districts in Austin and Houston and Dallas and South Texas, areas with large black and Latino populations. His allies have admitted it's based purely on political performance. And legal concerns have been raised from the Department of Justice and they've been ignored. When Democrats fled the state to block the vote, Abbott threatened to arrest them, remove them from office, and even criminalize the act of raising money to stay away. Editorial boards across Texas have called it what it is, just a power grab disguised as process. You see, originally the hoods were worn to mask the identity of the individual because the intentions were too obvious to hide. Now they don't wear hoods because the intentions are masked instead. But it's the same agenda, it's just modernized for television, rehearsed for debate stages, and dressed up in law books and political talking points. Defiance still there.